It's got legs.
Hello, everybody. This is Joey Papa, and you are watching Joey Talks, where we talk about life and making it matter. And it is Monday again. Woohoo! Today, I have a very special treat for you. I'm going to be interviewing John Cooper, the lead singer of the band Skillet, and we're going to be talking today about convictions. What is conviction? How does it work? How has conviction driven his personal decision-making as well as with the band? Let's dive on in. Hey, John, how's it going?
What's up?
Nice to have you here. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, you too.
It's good to talk to Joey.
There you go.
As he talks.
Joey Talks. I wanted to first find out what's going on right now with the band. Where are you guys at? What are you doing?
We are currently on tour. I got home last night and I leave tonight.
Nice. You know, I think a lot of times when you see people who are successful or who are doing something that's making a difference, it's people can look at that and just think, oh, you just arrived there, or somehow this all just fell together. What has that journey looked like for you as far as growing it from, starting in 1996 to current day, where you guys are at?
Sure.
What kind of took you from there to here?
Oh, man. So many hard things. A lot of people don't know how starting a band is such hard work. It is that being in a van, for one thing, makes you, want to smack somebody. It can be terrible. Driving a van, trailer, setting up all your own gear, load in, load out, talk to the fans, sell your own merchandise.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I truthfully never imagined it would last this long. I just thought, I felt called to do it. I think our story is very strange that, 12 years into our career, we have our first, radio hit. Mm-hmm. And that changed everything. And so people began to make these jokes that took Skillet 12 years to be an overnight success,
Yeah.
So people were like, oh, this brand new band. I love your band, man. I have your record. I'm like, oh, there's 7 other ones, Yeah, I've loved you guys since the beginning. I got both your records. I'm like, oh, we got 6 other records.
So in those early years, what kept you going for so long? I mean, there's so many bands that start out and then like within 2-3 years, they kind of throw the towel in and they're like, this isn't really going anywhere. Tired of the the van thing and all that. So what kept you going?
Truthfully, I just felt called to do it. There were lots of times when I thought, this is going nowhere. We're making no money, we're paying bills, but it's very difficult to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And it was just an instance of praying, feeling this is what we were still called to do, meant to be here, and that there was greater purpose in it, even if there was only 50,000 people buying the record, 100,000 people. 200,000 people. Even at that point, you're paying bills, but you're not making a lot of money, and you're doing a lot of the work yourselves because you can't afford to pay people. So it became an issue of what is feeding my soul rather than fame or good business even. So I think the short answer is I felt that's what God called me to do.
I think. For me, I've noticed so many people in society that are influential or do have some level of status or fame. They are the type of people who don't give up after that short, sprint, if you would. They continue on and keep pressing and pushing. So would you say it's the same thing that keeps you going today? Obviously, it's got to be tiresome. I mean, being in this type of industry and business for this length of time, you have a family.
Yeah.
Your wife travels with you, which I can't even imagine that. But it's got to be very, it's got to come at a high price.
Still, what drives me is knowing that my life is counting for something. And I think more and more people want that in their lives. More and more, you're seeing in culture, people go, maybe I don't make the most money doing that, but I enjoy this, and or maybe I feel like I'm helping other people or whatever that may be. That is certainly the case in my life, and that's what has driven us to be a married couple who is not just on the road all the time, but business partners.
So looking back on Rise specifically. What are some things you've learned since the album came out, and what are you looking towards in the future from those things that you've...
Oh, man. One of the things that I have definitely learned, maybe I should say I've relearned, is...
I love that.
Is you just have to be who you are.
Yeah. Just
simply that. And when you try too much to please other people, I mean, I think I'm always very much interested to know people's opinions.
Right.
You know, between my label and management and producer, I want that input, and I find it challenging, and it sharpens me. But when it comes down to that, my gut, this feels wrong in my gut. You know,
yes,
I hear what you're saying. That feels wrong to me. I think you have to know that what you have to say hopefully has merit and is special and is uniquely you.
Yeah.
And I'm relearning. Okay, it's okay for me to say no to people. It might not be the best. Again, might not make the most business sense. It might not be what they're used to hearing, but it's who I am.
Yes.
And so I'm kind of finding my way back to that again. You know, when I'm writing a new record, going, hey, this is what I have to say.
Yeah.
And it won't be the first time that people said, no, that's not good, or no, that doesn't make sense. And some of my biggest songs in my career were songs that people were like, nah, you know, thumbs down.
Yep.
So
going back to what you were talking about before, kind of like that intuition or that inner voice or that inner guiding. You know, talking about songwriting, and people may not like this one or that one. On Joey Talks, we really try to focus on everyday life and making everyday life count, making it be more meaningful, really living from that depth of who you are.
Okay.
And that's kind of what you're describing. I think one word that's used to describe that is conviction. To you, how much has conviction played a role in your songwriting, in how you do business, and how you make decisions?
For some people, they might not know what we mean when we say conviction.
Yeah,
they might think that means commitment or like, you know, an opinion. But conviction to me has always had a connotation of something that I believe to the point that it causes a reaction in my soul, you know, in my decisions.
Yeah.
Something that I believe enough that it requires an action. So, like for instance, you know, someone that says, I believe that killing animals is completely wrong. You don't expect that person to eat meat.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, it seems like, okay, you believe it to the point that meat is out of your diet. If they do eat meat, then that's what we call hypocrisy. I think a great example is marriage. And of course, my wife is also my business partner. But let's just take the business part out. Just marriage in general.
Yeah.
That there are days, and there have been, you know, times in life in your marriage that you feel happier and not as happy. There are times when you're like, all right, I see. I love my wife, but I see why people get divorced. I understand how this happens.
Yes.
Because it can be frustrating. You can be committed to something and then give up, like a diet. You know what I mean? I'm committed to not eating any cookies, and I do really, really good in my commitment to no cookies. And after about 5 days, I'm like, I think I deserve at least 3. You know, commitment can only last for so long. I think what it is it's the conviction that we are married for life. And I believe that it's right that we are married for life. I believe that it's even a sacred, you know, in terms of actual God to man. It is a sacred promise that you make. So our conviction is we will not get divorced. We will work it out.
So then on the band side of things, how has conviction helped guide the decisions you make?
Yes, on business. And
yeah.
It's been very important to us because most people know the saying, sex, drugs, rock and roll. You know, they seem to go hand in hand.
Right.
To some people, they have found it strange that Skillet is not a band that has the sex and drugs aspect. and it's so a part of rock and roll today that it seems very strange that you're not involved in it. It almost feels like, well, then maybe you're not really into rock and roll. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it's
Because they go
you
together.
can't take it. Well, my conviction is the opposite. My conviction says it's about the music. It wasn't about this when it started. It was about singing something that you believed in. If music is indeed something created by God, I believe it has power to change people's perspectives, lives, to save lives. And so my conviction has always been that stuff is not who I am. And even though there have been, I think, a lot of labels, especially at radio, say, we're not going to play your song if you're not going to be involved. If you're not going to come party with us, we're not going to play your song.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Crazy.
They've kind of been like, you're kind of raining on a parade. I don't know if you've ever been invited, like when I was in high school, I was a Christian, and I didn't party, but I was fun.
Yeah.
I'm hyperactive and I'm crazy, and people would sometimes be surprised to find out that I was not on any sort of medication. And I was really fun at parties. Well, I stopped getting invited to parties, and I was still, I was class president, but all of a sudden I realized, well, we were 17, and they don't want to be, if you want to drink and do whatever it is else you want to do, and there's somebody that's not doing it, it's a little bit like, oh, you're no fun, So sometimes these radio stations, they want you to come play their event and have fun, but you're kind of spoiling it, and if you would be more a part of us, we'd play your song. And for us, it kind of came down to, I don't care that much that you play my song. I would love it. Maybe it could even change my life. You know what I mean? Maybe I could make more money, help my business. But that's not something that we've wanted to do. The worst thing you can do is to be a hypocrite to your own convictions.
Yep.
Like the meat is murder person that's chewing on steak all the time. It's a lot easier to fail someone else than fail yourself.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
Ironically, sometimes we find more conviction, people being more committed even to their, I think of terrorism.
Yes, absolutely.
They're not wishy-washy in their conviction.
That's right.
They are 100% committed to that conviction, and they're going to do whatever it takes to see that played out. But ironically, those of us who are committed to the conviction that is based in love, sometimes you meet people who are just kind of like half in, half out, and you can see the difference. If we could only be committed and have conviction in the service to other people and in love, what a difference that would make in the world.
Absolutely.
In people's lives and impacting other people, people's lives.
I think you're right. I think that some of it, I think, could come down to we don't always know what's at stake. So, if I could kind of give people watching some sort of encouragement there, it is, know who you are, live by those convictions, and if those convictions are based in love, making the world a better place, I just think you can't lose.
Yes, I totally agree. Well, hey, thanks so much.
All right.
For taking the time, sharing with us. Yeah. So this is Joey with Joey Talks and John Cooper today. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, get on there right now and subscribe. Head over to joeytalks.com to sign up for our newsletter, and join us next Monday for a new talk from MOA. And we will see you then. Till then, adios. And. Today we have a very special treat for you. Today I have, not we, who's we?